Alright, welcome to an actual tutorial for actual beginners, where we're going to cover just a couple of fun little Unity things, as if you're actually new and don't know what you're doing, versus people thinking you know what you're doing, and you have to backtrack on the video 20,000 times just to see what the hell they were doing. So we're going to right-click in an empty area. We'll hit Create, Scene, and that will make a completely new scene. We will name it Test Scene. And don't say shit about my keyboard clicking, yada yada, I don't care. So we'll open up the new scene. You can see that there's absolutely nothing here. So let's go right directly to the camera. You'll see that the camera is here. Its position is 0, 1, -10, which is kind of odd. So we'll put this to 0, 0, 0, and you'll see that the area here moves. See, look at that. Don't need a directional light. We're going to start really from scratch, and I mean really from scratch. So you're going to right-click in the empty area here. You'll hit Create Capsule. I just like using Capsule. That's my personal, choice. 0, 0, 0. So now it's in the same area as your camera, right? So you'll want to take off your mesh renderer. This mesh renderer makes it viewable, see? So we'll want to take this out completely. You don't need that. Now, for the main camera, you'll see that the camera's there, the capsule's there. You want to put the main camera onto the capsule. This is called a parent and child relationship. So a child will be something that's inside of a parent. That came out wrong, but I guess that's kind of how that works. Weird joke. Anyways, didn't mean to say that. I'll be making a lot of jokes in this video. Just ignore them or laugh at them, whatever. So this main camera is a child of the capsule. We'll rename the capsule just for ease of sake. Player object. So this is a player object. It's got a capsule collider. And if you want your main camera to be a little bit higher, see how it's kind of like in the middle right now? We'll just line that up just so it's a little easier. We'll want to have the main camera just a little bit higher. See how it's kind of like almost head height? You see what I did there? Now, if you're new to Unity, I'm sure you're new to coding and you just downloaded a bunch of crap you saw off the internet. And you'll most likely want, or not most likely want, most likely have found the SC first-person controller, which is like the first thing you see on Google when you type in first-person controller Unity. If my project ever fucking loads. Underscore FPS SC underscore FPS controller. So on this right side here, this will be your inspector where you can see things that are on it. See add component. You can either drag it in, see how it's in there. It automatically adds the character controller, but if we undo, hit add component, you can have everything that's in your system script-wise in here. So you can also just type in FPS controller and it'll be right there as well. Now you can move all this crap, walking speed, running speed, jump speed, gravity. Those things are kind of self-explanatory. You'll need to put the main camera, again, you can just drag anything you want here. It already knows what it's looking for because that's how the script is put. That's how it's made. Player camera. So let's open up the script. Actually, you can see it right here. So we really don't need that. Where is it? Jumping, gravity, look. Disable, enable. Where is it here? Ah, here we are. Okay, so this spot right here is what is needed for the camera. It does the access for the mouse and the X rotations, mouse X, look speed, and that takes the stuff from up here, movement speed. And where is it? Camera. Well, I just wanted to show you where the camera shit is, but it's right here. See how rotation X, I'm not really explaining it right now because whoever's watching this really isn't interested. You're more interested in actually getting Unity to work for you. That's the whole point of this video. Anyway, so you'll see this here. Now, you'll notice that there's nothing under the character. Now, there is one more thing that's missing. It's called a rigid body. If you want your character to interact with anything, it needs a rigid body. So it also needs something to stand on. So I hit Game Object. This is where everything in your project will ever be. Let's make a cube. Oh, that's really far away. I don't know why it does that. Let's put that to 0, 0, 0. See, now it's in the same spot. Let's put that a little bit lower. Right here in the top area, you'll see position, rotation, and scale. Position and rotation are kind of self-explanatory. It kind of moves it. Rotation is, well, rotation. If you don't like using these, you can also click this button right here, the transform tool, and you can do these things on your own. See? And if you grab this white thing here, it will rotate. Oh, how I'm moving? Or I'll explain that in a sec. So you can grab this here, and this white circle here, it will actually rotate with your camera field. So it'll rotate based on your camera's angle. See? I undo. I move this, and I undo again. Now you ask, how am I moving the camera so nicely? So you hold right click. Oops. You hold right click. That moves the camera like this on the camera's orbit aspect or pivot aspect. But if you right click and WASD, it'll actually move the camera around, and you can kind of like free camera it, which is pretty cool. But anyway, scale. You'll see this little button here, enable constrained proportions. You see how I'm doing 1 right now? If you click on this, it'll make all of them be the exact same. It's really handy for scaling. But with that being said, we don't want that right now. So we want this nice and big, just for funsies. Look, it's a little square rectangle thing. And you see how the player object is kind of like inside it right now? We don't want that. We want it just a little bit higher. Boom, there we go. And we'll give this a texture. Now, you might say, holy shit, look at all these crazy things in here I don't understand. This is just me adding models and textures and whatnot. This is 3 years worth of stuff. So once you start collecting stuff, you can hit this little search bar here. Grass. I'm typing in grass just so I can have something to, there we go, grass, boom. Now, you might think, whoa, this is really big, this is really crazy. This is insane. Watch this. I'm not going to actually change any of this because I'm using this in other projects. But you see this tiling here? If you move this to, let's say, a 10, you see how it's a lot smaller? And we'll move this to a nice 7. Now it looks like actual grass instead of stretched out bullshit. So let's go back to the player object. We'll hit play real quick. This should only take a second or two. There's nothing to really load. All right, so moving my camera, this works. It's a set to... See, I was expecting this to happen. This is because I didn't set the rigged collider properly. To see what's actually happening, you'll want to drag the game object, or the game screen. You see how scene, game. I bring this back over here, nothing. But if you bring it out, how the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, no, I didn't want that. Okay, let's stop this for a sec. There we go. Okay, so this is the scene view, and this is the game view. But if we hit play in the game view instead, it'll start in the game view. Now, I am going to leave every error that I do in here so I can show you how to fix these kinds of things. See how I'm moving the camera? But as soon as I move, it's going to whack the hell out. Blah, 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 blah. Oh no. Look, it's the seizure dance. Everybody party. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah. Anyways, you'll see in the scene view, you see how there's two colliders? The SC FPS controller does that because it's the capsule collider and the character controller. But let's, oh, and any edit you do while the game is running will not save. So let's see here, where is it? Freeze rotation. Boom. So if we go back to the game after we've frozen all of our rotations, you see how it's not working? Let's unpause this. Or pause this, sorry. We'll freeze the rotations. The rigged body doesn't need to move. That can stay exactly as it is because that's only used for physics calculations and all that other fancy shit. We'll get into that later. But for now, we're just setting up the player and, showing you a couple of neat things. So you see how it works now? Look at that, boom. But if we go over to the scene, you'll see something fun. You see how one of those is not moving and the other one is? That's because we've frozen the rigged body. Let's see what happens if we unfreeze one of them. I'm super fucking confused, honestly. But anyways, the character controller will work. But kind of not work. So if we freeze the Y, now the Y is rotating on the rigged collider. And if you freeze the Z, now the Z is the one that's moving, and you're playing like it's drunk mode. Anyway, you get the point. Freeze the rotations. Okay, on to actually doing shit. Okay, so we've got a character controller with the controller here. So let's put on. Do I not have crouch here? Okay, let's put on something. Let's say you want to pick something up. Right click in this little area here. Let's create empty. And we'll put in settings. This is the start of the settings and things you actually need to edit. I personally use a flag system or a counter system. Not public. Public. There we go. I use a counter system. See how the counter entries are empty? It doesn't need to read any of that shit before the game starts. But watch what happens when I hit play. I'll be including some of these in the description down below so you guys can mess with them too. I have a full list of counters before this loads. I'm just doing all this stuff for tutorial purposes. Give that a sec there. See how it automatically populates with every counter that I have in it? And you can see, check this out. Look at all those. Now let's go to the public counter. Oh my god, typos. Let's go to the public counter. You can go through all this yourself here. There's increment counters, decrement counters, set counters, get value counters by name, and this is the dictionary. This is all you need to know. Just copy and paste one, put one line down and change the name, and you have a new counter. So this, actually I shouldn't have named that settings. Public counter likes to be its own thing. So let's do public counter because it doesn't destroy itself. It saves itself over different scene loadings. So you only need one for your entire project. Now let's do something fun here. Create empty. Oh, actually no, let's not create empty. So let's ball. Let's pick up ball. Cricket ball. This is perfect. All right, so let's add an item in here. You see how this ball is white and there's nothing on it? And it's just a material. Now, let's see this cricket ball has a material, this red thing here. Now it looks funny and fresh and hunky-dory, and it's got a nice little racing stripe, but it can go super fast like Sonic the Hedgehog. See how this changed over here? You can actually open it up and check out how shiny it is. You see how there's a white shine in the middle there? Whoa, super shiny. And like not shiny. The smoothness of it. That kind of makes sense, right? And same with the texture as before. You can tile it, and it makes it look really stupid. And you can tile it this way too. Make it also look really stupid. And you can also do offset, which slightly moves it a little bit. See how it's moving? Kinda. It's hard to see. Like it moves it left and right, and then up and down. Ooh. Anywho, let's make this nice and big. We're gonna use this item as an item pickup. Oh no, where is my camera guy gone? Oh, there he is. He is over here. So that should be nice and viewable. So your character has a rigged body, which can interact with other things. But how is it supposed to know it's supposed to interact? So that's why we have to add a collider. I like sphere colliders myself. But you can use, see how a circle got added there? Let's make that circle nice and big. So anything within this circle, the rigged body will play around with. But right now, it's a physical circle, which means nothing can go in or out of it. If we hit is trigger, it's suddenly invisible. Invisible is the word I'll use. Anything can go in and out of it. And once it passes this line, it'll know, hey, this item's inside of this. And it can be interacted with. And when it's outside of it, it cannot be interacted with. This ball here, same thing. It needs a collider. Now, let's see, circle, sphere. So let's put the sphere collider as a trigger and put the radius just a little bit bigger. There. Now I'm holding control here to select more than one object at a time. Let's hit the cricket ball and the player. You see how they both have circles? So let's hit the cricket ball and bring this a little bit closer. So we'll bring that over there, and we'll bring this over here. And when you tap the player object again, you see how the circles are kind of overlapping each other? Now this makes it so that it knows that this ball can be touched and played with until weird white stuff comes out of it. Well, I mean, I guess a little bit already has. But let's move that back over there. Control Z just to move this back over here. Is trigger. Alrighty. So you want to, let's say, pick this item up. I have the item pickup. Where is it? So counter name. This will be with the public counter. And if you ever need to see what counters you have, you can open it up in visual fucking public. I don't want to type that. You can see just by tapping on it what kind of counters that you have here. So let's just play with the counter dead. Dead. Counter name. Dead. Required counter. And we can leave that blank or have something in there so that this item only is pick upable after you've picked something else up. Like let's say you have a revolver and you want to pick up some bullets and this is a bullet pickup. You would put revolver in there so it knows that you have the revolver and you can pick the bullets up. Now pickup canvas. What the fuck is a canvas? A canvas is everything that your UI will sit on. A UI will not work, and you ask, what the fuck is a UI? That's words, text, special screen effects, that kind of shit. So you're going to right click and go down to UI. Look at all this stuff. There's images, fuck Text Mesh Pro, it's bullshit, don't use it. We have a raw image, which is a raw image, like there's no special effects for it. It's just directly right on the screen. We have panels, which is, how would I describe that? Like the frame of a picture. That would be the best way to describe it. This is what the picture sits on. We got toggle, slider, scroll bar. We won't touch any of that crap for now. That's going to be a different thing. But I like to use legacy text because it's the bomb. It's the bomb diggity. And you'll see that a canvas and a text automatically pop up. Pick up ball canvas. This is just a good practice for you to do. Pick up ball canvas. so you don't get confused. Like, what happens if I do this? You don't know what the fuck that is. Cricket ball. I like the names. It's a cricket ball. That's exactly what it is. And you see this event system was added because we now have a UI, which is a canvas, which is needed for these kinds of things. But let's just not touch this because Unity automatically does it. Unless you want to get really advanced with what things do what, don't bother clicking this because you will fuck everything up. No offense. If you're new, don't touch this. And if you're advanced and you know what you're doing, you're probably not watching this. And if you are, why are you wasting your time? Anyway, so pick up ball canvas. So let's grab this. Don't click on it, but hold click and drag in. Pick up canvas. Now this item pickup script automatically cancels out a canvas and doesn't show it on the start of a game. I'll show you how. Item pickup right here. So awake. Ensure this game object is not destroyed on load. Don't destroy on load. Simple enough. It doesn't destroy it when, let's say, you die. But sometimes when scene switching and that sort of thing, this is a pain in the ass. So you don't always want to use that. All right, so on the game start, not awake, it disables the canvas at the start of the game. And then update. Where is it here? On trigger enter, which is when your player enters the trigger, if the tag player, which is this tag right here, we go to player. I've made all of these myself. You can just hit add tag and make as many as you like. This is for the exact purpose that I'm doing. It's so it knows what to look for. Anywho, so this is tagged as player. Holy cow, I've already been doing this for 22 minutes. That's insane. So item pickup script knows to look for the player going into this circle right here. And now since they have a circle as well, we'll go back to the player, this circle here. When that circle interacts with this circle, you can also click on objects right on the screen. See, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. It's fun. Anywho, when the player goes inside of this circle with their own circle, they'll be able to mess around with this. Now, you're going to ask, why is the text? What's the point of this? Pickup canvas. What does that mean? Pickup canvas? Huh? What? This will be what pops up. Press E to pick up. Like this is what you would normally put. So you walk up to it. Oh, my item pickup script is set to E, but you can do it to anything you want. Any way you want. See, player presses E. All the instructions are in there. And I'll show you exactly where you can change this kind of thing. Key code E. You can change keycode.E to anything you want. Be it any D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, P, O, R, N, H, U, B, whatever. You can do whatever you want. So press E to pick up. Or you can press E to make disappear. You can put anything you want. There we go. All right, so it's going to show that. Now, I'm going to purposely show you what it looks like in-game without me editing anything, so you can see real time exactly what kind of things are needed. We'll give this a second to load. 1 sec. Vape break. Oh yeah, I gotta hit that shit. Okay, so we got a ball, we got a person. So we go up to the ball. You see how you don't see anything yet? We don't see nothing. We don't see shit. We don't see nothing. Anyways, so we're up here. Where is it? Here. Don't destroy and load. This doesn't fit, right? Let's put the height bigger. Let's put the width wider. Let's put this in the middle. These are the alignments. It's pretty simple. Let's put this to white. You'll see how it's in the bottom left corner there. middle, center, position, position. So if we put these positions to 0, 0, it'll be right in the middle of the screen. Now you'll say, whoa, this is some really small text. Holy shit. You can change it any color you want. I like this little wheel. It's great. Ooh, rainbow. I like white. That's my personal favorite color. Little nice little, kind of like yellow. You can download any fonts you want and put them right into here. Watch, I'll show you exactly how. See, I have a font from my desktop. Oh shit, you can't see that. Anyways, download a TTF font file and literally just drag it into here. That's how you get stuff in. And make sure you're not searching something up because it won't let you drag it if something is being searched up. But now, see, now that there's like a little plus button, you see that? Anyway, so we're going to do the text, and we're going to make this 50 just so you can see it. Yo, wait, what the fuck? Hold up, where did my text go? So you see how the height is 43? Let's put it to 50. Oh no, it still won't show up because it's exactly 50. The text is 50. It doesn't have enough room. But if we put it to 51, oh no, 52, oh no, 53, oh no, 54, oh no, let's put it to 60. There, automatically. So it needs enough room to actually render it. It needs 3 extra pixels on each side. So 55, no room. 56, oh, it's suddenly showing up. It needs, this is literally the pixel size. Let's put this to 400. Oh no, that doesn't work. 500. You see how it slowly gets bigger and slowly gets smaller? And now what do you think would happen if I unaligned this? Let's go to left, and let's go top, middle, bottom. But let's put this way higher. See how the height is way bigger? Boop, 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 boop. And what happens if we make the width even bigger? Let's put that to 1,000. Middle, or sorry, left, middle, right. You see how it's kind of aligned by geometry, horizontal overflow. This is a great idea. Let's do 500. No, let's do like 300. No, let's do 200. Okay, let's do 100. That actually works. So horizontal overflow, where'd you go? Wrap. So wrap makes it exactly the room that you need it to be. Let's make width a little bigger. See what it's doing there? It's kind of overflowing. It's kind of like WordPad with its overflow technique. But let's do overflow. It automatically makes it fit. Same with vertical too. Let's put overflow. We'll show you the differences. Trying to get, you actually need the room, whereas overflow, it kind of just does it automatically. You don't really need to set the height. It can be anything you want, except for negatives, obviously. Anyways, so now that we can grab this ball and shove it up our ass, let's go to the public counter. We'll go to dead. We'll pop this right up. Where is it here? Dead. Counter, dead. And then you see on the cricket ball, we've set the counter name to increase dead. It increases by 1 when you pick the item up. So we'll go to dead, and we'll shove this up our ass. And look, the dead counter has gone up by 1. Now, you can set this so that the value goes up by 1 and make other things happen when that counter goes up. So we'll do 2 more extra things here in this little first part of the tutorial. So we'll go to settings, deactivate at start. So you see how this is empty right now? There's nothing in there that it will deactivate at the start of the game. Let's make just 2 balls. There, and we'll make this ball made out of wood. Yeah, hurry up. Okay, so we'll make this ball made out of wood just so we can see the difference. Now this one's wood, it won't feel good up the ass, otherwise. See how it's kind of like all fucky-wucky? you can fix that with, boop, where is it? Tiling. You see how you can kind of like make it look a little bit better. But remember, doing this on this material will affect everything else with this material. So you don't want to do that. You want to make copies of your materials whenever you're editing them for other objects. Okay, so we'll do second ball. Just so we can see the difference. Cricket ball, second ball. Now it uses the exact same pickup as this one, which is okay because it will also know to make that appear. So let's do a second counter, just for funsies. Let's do open, because it's opening up your asshole. Open. There we go. Alrighty, so we will go to settings. Object to deactivate. Oh, whoops, we did that. So let's grab second ball and put it in there. Now, when we start the game, you'll notice that the second ball is nowhere to be seen. Nowhere at all. All right, we've got one ball to shove up our ass. Oh, yeah. See what I was saying there earlier? Anything you do in the game won't save. The game has to be stopped in order for you to do things. So we'll go over to this. We'll go to the text. We'll make this a nice 1,000. Position 0. Position 0. Oops. Position 0. Height 200, because it doesn't really matter. We'll put this to overflow. We'll put this to overflow. Put this to 50. Put this to book OS. There we go. Press E to shove up ass. Perfect. Okay, so when we hit play, it'll automatically be on the screen. Give it a second there. My computer's not the best. So, when we go to shove this ball up our ass, look, you can see I've forgotten to do the alignment. So we hit middle, middle, and we forgot to do the color. Press E to shove up ass. Look at that. There, it's up my ass. So we'll just do that, put that to white, and there we go. So we go back to our settings. We see the deactivated start. Now let's type in the word counter. You'll see all the things I can use with counter. Counter object toggle. I think this is the one I want. Enable when 1. Okay, so you can either use counter object toggle or activate on counter. It doesn't really matter. I like activate on counter myself because it's basically the same thing. I accidentally made the script twice, I'll be honest. Activate on counter. Now we'll put second ball, and we'll put the counter that it's looking for to be dead at required count 1. So let's hit save, just in case. We'll hit play. Come on, come on, come on. Load. Load. Okay, so we see one ball to shove up our ass. We shove the ball up our ass, and a second ball appears. Whoa, 2 balls in my ass at the same time. You see how I couldn't look down there as well, by the way? You see how I'm like kind of stopping a little bit? Yeah, it's probably really hard to bend over with 2 balls up your ass. But here, let's shoot them out. Oh, man. See the character controller? Oh, I got spit all over my screen. Where is it? There we are. Look X limit. This is what you want to be looking for. So let's do this to a nice 80. You see how I can look way further down? But what happens if you put it more than 90? Now you can kind of look upside down. You see? But what happens if you put it to 180? Now you can be upside down. This is really confusing. Whoa, whoa. But what happens if you put it to 360? Now, whoa, you can do the whole thing. But let's say you put it to 1,000,000. You can infinitely, well, not infinitely, you'll eventually get to a point where you can't do it anymore. So it's really versatile on exactly how you want it. Now, one last little thing before we go off. See how I'm going up? That's a nice gravity. Let's put gravity to like a nice, really, really low number. You see how I'm going really high? Let's slowly turn the gravity up. Boom. Now that's a high number. Look how tiny my little jump is. But let's put jump speed really high and gravity really high. You see how it's like, woo, but I'm also going down really fast. Let's put gravity even higher. And let's put jump speed really low. What happens when we put jump speed to negative? Let's find out. Nothing. Let's put it to a nice... Yeah. Let's see what we got here. We'll put gravity to 1. See how it's going up way slower than a moment ago? It's almost stopped. It's almost stopped. And look how slow we're going back down. And then crank the gravity, and we slam into the ground and break our legs, and the balls shoot out of our ass. But anyways, if you liked the tutorial, tell me. You know, leave a comment. See what you want next. It's great. I'll be leaving all of the little things I've used, like the controller, the add and pick up, the public counter, the deactivate on counter, the activate on counter. Those will all be in the descriptions below. If you liked it, have a great day. If you didn't, suck my balls.